Maya Okafor had practiced the words in the mirror that morning. Derek, we're having a baby. She'd smiled, watching her reflection transform with joy. Tried different versions. Love, I have news. Too formal. Guess what happened at the clinic yesterday? Too casual. Finally, she'd settled on simple. Direct. We're going to be parents. 3 years. 3 years of negative tests and her mother's phone calls from Lagos asking when she'd give her grandchildren. 3 years of doctor appointments that drained their savings. And yesterday, alone in the clinic bathroom, she'd finally seen 2 pink lines. She'd cried right there. Called her mother. Not Derek. Not yet. She wanted to tell him properly. Their 3rd anniversary. Perfect timing. The emerald green dress hugged her curves as she climbed the stairs to their Vancouver apartment. Derek's favorite color. He'd told her once it made her dark skin glow like honey in sunlight. The grocery bags cut into her palms. Fresh salmon. Asparagus. That expensive Merlot he pretended not to love. She'd cook his favorite meal, light candles, tell him over dessert. Jenna had helped her plan it during their coffee date last week. Jenna. Her best friend since university. The woman who'd been there through everything. Failed exams. Her father's death. Every single negative pregnancy test. They'd met in their first year, 2 girls far from home, and bonded over late-night study sessions and dreams of the future. Jenna had been her maid of honor. Had cried during Maya's vows. Had promised to be there for everything. Make it romantic, Jenna had said, stirring her latte. Derek loves grand gestures. Maybe hide the test in the dessert? Or write it in chocolate sauce? Maya had laughed. That's too much. I just want to see his face when I tell him. Now she stood outside their apartment door, keys in hand, heart racing with anticipation. The door was unlocked. Strange. Derek usually locked it when he was home during the day. Derek, she called, pushing it open. Love, I'm home early. Thought I'd start cooking before. Voices stopped her. Low. Intimate. Coming from their bedroom. Maya's stomach dropped. She set the grocery bags down carefully. Quietly. Moved toward the bedroom like she was walking through water. Each step felt impossible. Heavy. The door was half open. She pushed it wider. Derek was in their bed. The bed they'd picked out together at IKEA, laughing about the Swedish names. The bed where she'd cried every month when her period came. The bed where they'd tried to make a baby. He wasn't alone. Jenna's blonde hair spilled across his chest like she belonged there. Like she'd been there 1,000 times before. Maya couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. Couldn't process what her eyes were seeing. Derek looked up first. No panic. No scrambling to cover himself. Just cold, calm recognition. Maya, he said. We need to talk. Jenna turned, and the expression on her face wasn't shame. It was relief. Like she'd been waiting for this moment. Derek? Maya's voice came out broken. Small. The emerald dress suddenly felt too tight. What is this? He sat up slowly. Deliberately. Pulled on his boxers like he had all the time in the world. I've been waiting for you to come home, he said. There's something you need to see. If you've ever had your entire world shatter in a single moment, if betrayal has ever made you question everything you thought was real, hit that subscribe button. Because what happens next will break you. And trust me, you need to see how this story unfolds. Now let me take you back 6 hours. Let me show you where this nightmare really began. That morning, Maya had woken up with purpose. The pregnancy test was hidden in her purse, her secret for just a few more hours. She'd gone to the market early, picking out each ingredient carefully. Derek loved salmon with lemon butter sauce. She'd make it perfect. Everything would be perfect. She'd texted Jenna from the market. "Today's the day. Wish me luck." Jenna had replied immediately. "He's going to be so happy. You deserve this, babe. Call me after and tell me everything." Maya had smiled at her phone. Jenna always knew what to say. Always supportive. Always there. But now Maya stood in their bedroom doorway, groceries abandoned in the kitchen, watching her husband stand up from their bed while her best friend wrapped herself in their sheets. "What do you need to show me?" Maya whispered. Derek walked to the dresser. Pulled out a manila folder. Opened it with steady hands. Divorce papers. Already filled out. Already signed. His signature black and bold at the bottom. Maya's knees buckled. She grabbed the doorframe to stay upright. "I had my lawyer draw these up 2 weeks ago," Derek said, his voice businesslike. Professional. Like he was discussing a contract, not their marriage. "All our joint accounts have been transferred to my name. The apartment too. I had you removed from the lease on Monday." Monday? The word barely made it past her lips. Monday. When he'd taken her to dinner at that Italian place she loved. When he'd held her hand across the table and told her he loved her. When she'd thought about telling him about the pregnancy but decided to wait for their anniversary. "I needed you distracted while the paperwork went through," Derek said flatly. "My lawyer's advice. Couldn't risk you getting suspicious and moving money around." The room tilted. Maya's vision blurred. "How long?" she asked. "How long has this been?" 18 months, Jenna answered. Her voice was soft. Almost apologetic. The same voice she'd used when holding Maya's hand at the clinic. When listening to Maya cry about another failed cycle. "Since right after your second anniversary." 18 months. While Maya had been tracking ovulation. While she'd been taking fertility vitamins. While she'd been praying for a baby. While Jenna had been sitting across from her at coffee shops, asking if she'd considered adoption, if she was okay, if she needed anything. All lies. All of it. Maya's hands started shaking. She pressed them against her stomach, where a baby was growing. Derek's baby. A baby he didn't know about. A baby he would never know about now. "Why?" The word came out as a whisper. "Why didn't you just leave? Why make me think we were trying for a family? Why?" "Because I needed time to secure everything properly," Derek interrupted. He closed the folder, set it on the dresser like it was nothing. Like their marriage was nothing. "My lawyer said we needed to wait until all assets were transferred. Can't have you claiming half of what I built." "What you built?" Anger cut through Maya's shock. Her British accent sharpened. "I worked 2 jobs to put you through business school, Derek. 2 jobs. I gave up my position at the firm to support your dreams. And I appreciate that," Derek said, his tone suggesting he appreciated nothing. "But let's be realistic, Maya. You were never going to fit into the life I'm building now." The words landed like punches. Jenna stood up, wrapping the sheet around her body. She walked toward Maya, and the audacity of it, the absolute audacity, made Maya's blood boil. "Maya, sweetie," Jenna said, using that gentle, patronizing tone. "This isn't personal. Derek and we just make sense. You have to understand." "Don't." Maya's voice came out sharp. "Don't you dare call me sweetie. Don't you dare stand there in my bed, wearing my sheets, and tell me this isn't personal." "You're being emotional," Jenna said softly. "I'm being emotional?" Maya's voice rose. "You slept with my husband. For 18 months. You held my hand through fertility treatments while I was giving Derek what you couldn't," Jenna finished quietly. The room went silent. Maya stared at her. At this woman she'd trusted with everything. Her secrets. Her fears. Her pain. "What I couldn't?" Maya repeated slowly. Jenna didn't mean it like that, Derek said, but he didn't sound apologetic. He sounded tired. Inconvenienced. No, let her explain, Maya said. What couldn't I give you, Derek? What was I lacking? Derek sighed. Ran his hand through his hair. You want honesty? Fine. Jenna understands my world. Her family has connections. Money. Status. She's sophisticated. She fits into the circles I need to be in. And I don't? Maya's voice broke. Because I'm what? Not white enough? Not rich enough? Not American enough? I didn't say that, Derek said. You didn't have to, Maya whispered. Jenna stepped closer. Maya, you're making this about race when it's not. It's about compatibility. You and Derek, you were never really compatible. You tried so hard to make it work. But some things aren't meant to be. Maya wanted to laugh. Wanted to scream. Wanted to tell them both that she was carrying Derek's child. The baby they'd wanted. The baby she'd prayed for. But something stopped her. Some survival instinct she didn't know she possessed. There's more, Derek said. He exchanged a look with Jenna. You might as well tell her everything. Jenna sat on the edge of the bed. Their bed. Marcus is involved too. Marcus? Maya's brain struggled to keep up. Your business partner Marcus? Yes, Derek said simply. He and Jenna have also been seeing each other. Maya felt like she was in a nightmare. Marcus is married. He has 3 children. He's filing for divorce next month, Jenna explained, like this was normal. Like destroying multiple families was just logistics. We've worked it all out. Derek gets full control of the company. I get the social connections through both relationships. Marcus gets his freedom and a partnership stake in the new venture we're starting. New venture? Maya repeated numbly. We're starting a consulting firm, Derek said. Marcus has the client base. I have the business acumen. Jenna has the family connections to secure funding. It's a perfect triangle. Triangle, Maya whispered. You mean you're all? It's a modern arrangement, Jenna said. You wouldn't understand. Try me, Maya said flatly. Derek and I are primary, Jenna explained, like she was discussing a business structure. Marcus and I are secondary. Everyone knows. Everyone's happy. It works. Everyone except his wife, Maya said. Everyone except his children. Everyone except me. Well, yes, Jenna admitted. But you were never really part of Derek's future. Not long term. He married you because you were there. Because you were convenient. But he always knew you weren't the one. Each word was a knife. Maya looked at Derek. At this man she'd loved. This man whose child was growing inside her. Is that true? She asked. Was I just convenient? Derek had the decency to look away. You were what I needed at the time. But people grow. Change. I've changed, Maya. My needs have changed. Your needs, Maya repeated. And what were my needs? Did those matter? Of course they did, Derek said, but his tone was dismissive. But you have to admit, we wanted different things. You wanted a simple life. A family. I want more than that. I want success. Power. Influence. I supported every one of your dreams, Maya said quietly. And I'm grateful, Derek said again, like gratitude meant anything. But support isn't enough. I need a partner who can stand beside me in the world I'm entering. Someone who looks right. Sounds right. Knows the right people. Someone white, Maya said. I didn't say that, Derek snapped. You didn't have to, Maya repeated. Jenna stood. Maya, I know this is hard. But you'll be better off. You can find someone who wants the same things you want. Someone who fits your lifestyle. My lifestyle? Maya's voice was dangerous now. What lifestyle is that, Jenna? You know, Jenna said carefully. Someone more grounded. Less ambitious. Someone who wants a simple family life. Someone at my level, Maya said. Is that what you mean? I'm trying to be kind, Jenna said. Kind, Maya laughed, and it sounded broken. You're sleeping with my husband and you think you're being kind. I'm being honest, Jenna corrected. Which is more than Derek was going to be. He wanted to just serve you the papers and be done with it. I convinced him you deserve to know the truth. How generous, Maya said. Derek checked his watch. Actually checked his watch. I need you to pack and leave tonight, Maya. The locks are being changed tomorrow morning at 8. You can take your personal items. Everything else stays. This is my home, Maya protested. Was your home, Derek corrected. Everything's in my name now. The lease. The furniture. Even the car is registered to me. My lawyer made sure of it. Maya felt the walls closing in. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem, Derek said coldly. You have friends. Family. Figure it out. My family is in Lagos, Maya said. My friends, she looked at Jenna. My friends are apparently sleeping with my husband. Don't be dramatic, Jenna said. You have other friends. Name one, Maya challenged. Name one friend I have in this city that isn't you. Jenna's silence was answer enough. The truth hit Maya like ice water. She'd moved to Vancouver for Derek. Left London. Left her job. Left everything. And in 3 years, she'd built her entire life around him. Around them. She'd let her friendships back home fade. Stopped answering calls because she was too busy supporting Derek's career. Too busy trying to get pregnant. Too busy being the perfect wife. And now she had nothing. No home. No money. No friends. Just a pregnancy test in her purse and a future she couldn't imagine. I want to tell you something, Maya said quietly. Her hand moved toward her purse. Derek's phone rang. He looked at the screen. I need to take this. It's the investor from Seattle. He answered without waiting for her response. Marcus, hey. Yeah, she knows. We're handling it now. He walked out of the bedroom, his voice fading down the hallway. Maya stood there, facing Jenna alone. You should take the deal, Jenna said softly. Sign the papers. Walk away. Derek's being generous, actually. He could make this much harder. Generous? Maya's voice shook. He's taking everything. He's letting you keep your dignity, Jenna said. He could contest things. Drag it out. Make it ugly. But he's offering a clean break. A clean break, Maya repeated. Is that what you call this? Jenna sat back down on the bed, crossing her legs like she owned the place. Like Maya was the visitor. I know you're hurt. But in 6 months, you'll see this was for the best. You'll find someone who actually appreciates you. Someone who wants the same things. And what things do I want, Jenna? Since you seem to know me so well. You want simple, Jenna said. You want ordinary. A little house. A couple of kids. A quiet life. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what Derek wants. I wanted a partnership, Maya said. I wanted someone who valued me. Loved me. Chose me. But he didn't choose you, Jenna said, and the cruelty of it was almost casual. Not really. He settled for you. And now he's choosing what he actually wants. Maya felt something crack inside her. Some last piece of hope that this was all a misunderstanding. That Derek would walk back in and apologize. That Jenna would admit this was some sick joke. But neither of those things would happen. This was real. Derek returned, pocketing his phone. Marcus says we need to move faster. I need you out in the next 2 hours, Maya. Pack 1 bag. I'll have the rest shipped to wherever you end up. 2 hours? Maya's voice rose. I've lived here for 3 years and you're giving me 2 hours? I'm being generous, Derek said. I could call the police. Have you removed as a trespasser? Trespasser? Maya couldn't believe what she was hearing. This is my home. Not legally, Derek said. Not anymore. He pulled a suitcase from the closet. 1 suitcase. Set it on the bed beside Jenna. Pack, he said. Clothes. Toiletries. Personal items only. Everything else stays. Maya stared at the suitcase. 3 years of marriage. 3 years of building a life. And it all fit in 1 bag. She moved like a ghost through the apartment. Opened drawers. Grabbed clothes without looking at them. Her hands were shaking so badly she could barely fold anything. In the bathroom, she saw the fertility vitamins she'd been taking. The ovulation tests. The pregnancy books she'd hidden under the sink, not wanting to jinx anything. All of it worthless now. She grabbed her toothbrush. Her moisturizer. The shea butter her mother had sent from Nigeria. Behind her, she could hear Derek and Jenna talking in low voices. Laughing about something. Laughing. While Maya's world ended, they were laughing. She went to the closet. Grabbed her favorite dresses. The ones Derek used to compliment. The emerald green one she was wearing, she wanted to rip it off. Burn it. But she had so few clothes now. She couldn't afford to destroy anything. Her laptop. Her phone charger. The photo album from her father's funeral. Everything else, the furniture they'd picked out together, the dishes, the art on the walls, none of it mattered anymore. 15 minutes. That's all it took to pack up 3 years. Maya zipped the suitcase. Stood in the bedroom doorway one last time. Derek and Jenna were sitting together on the bed now. His arm around her. Like they were the couple. Like Maya was already gone. I was going to tell you something tonight, Maya said quietly. Something important. Derek barely looked up. Unless you're dying, I don't care. Maya's hand tightened on her purse. The pregnancy test inside felt like it was burning through the leather. She could tell him. Right now. Watch his face change. Make him understand what he was throwing away. But the words wouldn't come. Because deep down, Maya knew it wouldn't matter. Derek didn't love her. Maybe he never had. And a baby wouldn't change that. It would just trap her to him forever. Tie her to a man who looked at her with contempt. No. Her baby deserved better than that. She deserved better than that. You're right, Maya said. It doesn't matter. She walked to the door. Stopped. Turned back. I hope you're happy, she said. I hope this new life you're building is everything you dreamed of. Derek didn't respond. Jenna smiled. We will be. And honestly, Maya, I hope you find happiness too. I really do. The pity in her voice was unbearable. Maya left. Pulled her suitcase down the hallway. Out the door. Into the elevator. The doors closed and she was alone. She made it to the lobby before the tears came. The doorman, Paul, who'd always smiled at her, who'd helped her with groceries 100 times, looked away when he saw her crying. Pretended to be busy with paperwork. Everyone knew. They had to know. The divorce papers. The lease change. They all knew she was being thrown out and nobody said a word. Maya stood on the sidewalk outside her building, Derek's building now, with one suitcase and nowhere to go. The rain started. Of course it did. Vancouver rain. Cold and relentless. Her phone buzzed. A text from Derek. You left your toothbrush. I'm throwing it out. Don't come back for anything else. Maya stared at the message. At the casual cruelty. At how little she'd mattered. Another text. This one from the hospital. Reminder, your first prenatal appointment is scheduled for next week. Reply yes to confirm. Maya stared at the hospital text. Prenatal appointment. The baby. Her secret. The one thing Derek and Jenna hadn't taken from her because they didn't know it existed. She started walking. No destination. Just away. Away from the building. Away from the life she'd known. The suitcase wheels caught on the uneven sidewalk, jerking her forward, but she kept moving. The rain soaked through the emerald dress. Her hair, she'd spent an hour flat ironing it that morning, wanting to look perfect for the anniversary dinner, curled back into its natural texture, water dripping down her neck. People rushed past with umbrellas, heading home to their warm apartments, their families, their normal lives. Nobody looked at her. Nobody saw the woman falling apart on the street. Maya's phone rang. Her mother. Of course. Perfect timing, as always. She couldn't answer. Couldn't hear her mother's voice asking about grandchildren, about Derek, about when they'd visit Lagos. Couldn't lie and say everything was fine. The call went to voicemail. Immediately, her mother called again. Maya turned the phone off. She walked for an hour. Maybe 2. Her feet ached in the heels she'd worn to look beautiful for Derek. Blisters formed. Bled. She didn't care. The city blurred around her. Streetlights. Car horns. Laughter from restaurants she couldn't afford anymore. She had no money. Derek had emptied their joint account. Her own account had maybe $300. Enough for what? A few nights in a cheap motel? A week of food? And then what? She was pregnant. In a few months, she'd be showing. She'd need medical care. Vitamins. Doctor visits. How was she supposed to pay for any of it? Maya found herself in Gastown, the historic district she'd always loved. The cobblestone streets. The old buildings. She and Derek had walked here on their first date, and she'd thought it was romantic. Thought he was romantic. What a fool she'd been. She stopped outside a restaurant called Tableau. Expensive. The kind of place Derek took clients. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, she could see couples in evening wear, businessmen in suits, bottles of wine that cost more than her weekly grocery budget. She'd never belong in a place like that. Not anymore. Maybe she never had. Her legs gave out. Maya sat on the curb outside the restaurant, rain still falling, suitcase beside her, and finally let herself break. The sobs came from somewhere deep. Somewhere she'd been holding them back for hours. 4 months. For 3 years of trying to be enough for a man who never wanted her. She cried for her marriage. For her friendship with Jenna. For the baby growing inside her who would never know their father. For the life she'd imagined that would never exist. Excuse me. A voice. Male. Accented. Not North American. Maya looked up through blurred vision. A man stood over her. Tall. Sharp black suit despite the rain. Dark hair swept back. Eyes that were almost black in the dim light. East Asian features. Korean, maybe. Handsome in a dangerous way that made warning bells go off in her head. You're blocking the entrance, he said. His English was perfect but carried a Seoul accent underneath. Maya tried to laugh. It came out as a choked sob. Sorry. I'll move. She tried to stand. Her legs wouldn't cooperate. The heels. The blisters. The exhaustion. The man watched her struggle with an expression that wasn't quite pity. Something more analytical. Like he was calculating something. "You're soaked," he observed. "And bleeding." Maya looked down. Blood had seeped through her stockings from the blisters. "I'm fine." "You're not." He held out his hand. "Come inside." "I don't have money for." "I didn't ask if you had money." His tone left no room for argument. "Come inside or move. Those are your options." Maya didn't know why she took his hand. Desperation, maybe. Or the fact that sitting in the rain felt too much like giving up. Like dying slowly on a Vancouver street. His grip was firm. Strong. He pulled her to her feet with surprising gentleness, then grabbed her suitcase like it weighed nothing. Inside tableau, warmth hit her like a wall. The hostess started to protest, Maya's soaked dress, her tear-stained face, the blood on her stockings, but the man silenced her with a single look. "Private room," he said. "Tea. Hot. And first aid kit." The hostess nodded quickly and scurried away. The man led Maya through the restaurant. Past the couples in their evening wear. Past the businessmen and their deals. Into a small private room away from prying eyes. He gestured to a chair. Maya sat. Her legs were shaking. He removed his suit jacket, custom tailored, she noticed, and draped it over her shoulders. It smelled like expensive cologne and something else. Something darker. "Thank you," Maya whispered. He didn't respond. Just poured tea from a pot the hostess brought with trembling hands. The woman left the first aid kit and disappeared quickly, closing the door behind her. "Drink," the man said. Maya wrapped her hands around the cup. Warmth seeped into her fingers. He knelt in front of her, this man in his expensive suit, kneeling on the floor, and carefully removed her heels. His movements were efficient. Clinical. "These need to be cleaned," he said, examining her bleeding feet. "You've been walking for a while." "How do you know?" "The blisters are deep. And you're soaked through. You've been in the rain for at least an hour." He opened the first aid kit. "I'm going to clean these." "It will hurt." "Everything hurts," Maya said. He looked up at her then. Really looked at her. And something in his dark eyes shifted. "Yes," he said quietly. "I imagine it does." He cleaned her feet with antiseptic. Maya hissed at the sting but didn't pull away. Applied bandages with surprising care. "I'm Alexei," he said finally. "Alexei Kang." "Maya." "Maya Okafor." "And why are you bleeding on the street outside my restaurant, Maya Okafor?" "Your restaurant?" "I own the building," he said simply. "Among other things." Of course he did. Men like this always own things. "I had a bad day," Maya said. It sounded absurd. Inadequate. "I can see that." Alexei stood, returned to his seat across from her. "Tell me about it." "Why?" "Because you're sitting in my private dining room, bleeding and crying. And I'm curious." There was something about his directness. His complete lack of pity. That made lying feel impossible. So Maya told him. Everything. The affair. The divorce papers. Derek's cold dismissal. The stolen money. Jenna's betrayal. The 18 months of lies. The conspiracy with Marcus. Being thrown out of her own home with 2 hours' notice. The words poured out like blood from a wound. She didn't tell him about the pregnancy. That secret stayed locked away. Alexei listened without interrupting. His face remained impassive, but his fingers drummed slowly on the table. A tell, maybe. Or just habit. When she finished, the silence stretched. "Your husband is a fool," Alexei said finally. "Ex-husband," Maya corrected bitterly. "Apparently." "And your friend?" "I don't know what she is anymore." Alexei poured more tea. His movements were controlled. Precise. How much do you want revenge? Maya's breath caught. What? Your ex-husband. Your ex-friend. How badly do you want them to suffer? The question was blunt. Direct. Almost brutal in its honesty. And Maya found herself answering with equal honesty. I want them destroyed, she whispered. I want them to lose everything. I want them to hurt the way I'm hurting. She stopped. Took a breath. I want them to know what it feels like to be betrayed by someone you trust. Alexei smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Good, he said. Then I have a proposition for you. Maya stared at him. A proposition? Marry me, Alexei said. Casual. Like he was suggesting they order appetizers. Maya blinked. I'm sorry, what? Tomorrow. Courthouse wedding. Legal and binding. He took a sip of his tea, completely calm. I'll give you everything you need to destroy the people who hurt you. Maya laughed. It sounded hysterical even to her own ears. You're insane. Probably, Alexei agreed. But I'm also serious. You don't even know me, Maya protested. I could be anyone. I could be. You're Maya Okafor. 29 years old. British Nigerian. Moved to Vancouver 3 years ago for your husband. Worked at Chen and Associates as a legal secretary before you quit to support his business school ambitions. Your father died 2 years ago. Your mother still lives in Lagos. You have no siblings. No real friends in this city besides the woman who betrayed you. He paused. Should I continue? Maya's blood ran cold. How do you? I made some calls while you were talking, Alexei said simply. It pays to know who you're dealing with. That's terrifying. That's practical. He set down his cup. I don't make offers blindly, Maya. I needed to know if you were worth the investment. Investment? The word tasted bitter. Everything is an investment, Alexei said. Time. Money. Relationships. The question is always the same, what's the return? And what's your return on marrying a complete stranger? A wife, he said simply. My grandmother controls the family business. Kang Industries. You've heard of it? Maya had. Everyone had. Kang Industries was one of the largest tech conglomerates in Asia, with branches throughout North America. Legitimate on the surface. Rumored to have ties to less legitimate operations underneath. My grandmother has given me an ultimatum, Alexei continued. Marry before my 35th birthday or lose my position as heir. I have 3 months. So marry someone else. Someone from your world. Someone who actually. I don't want someone from my world, Alexei interrupted. I want someone who understands transactions. Someone who won't confuse business with emotion. Someone who needs what I can provide as much as I need what they can provide. And what can I provide? Maya asked. I have nothing. No money. No connections. No. You have fire, Alexei said. His dark eyes locked onto hers. You have rage. You have nothing to lose, which makes you dangerous. And dangerous, Maya Okafor, is exactly what I need. For what? To prove to my grandmother that I can make strategic decisions. That I won't be controlled by sentiment or tradition. That I choose what serves my interests, not what makes people comfortable. So I'm what? A political statement? You're a solution to a problem, Alexei corrected. And I'm a solution to yours. Maya shook her head. This is crazy. I can't just marry a stranger for. Can't you? Alexei leaned forward. What are your other options? You have $300 in your bank account. No job. No home. No friends. In 3 months, you'll be, he stopped. Studied her face. You're pregnant. Maya's heart stopped. How did you? You keep touching your stomach when you're stressed. And you refused wine when the hostess offered it. And there was a hospital text on your phone screen before you turned it off. His voice was matter-of-fact. How far along? That's none of your business, Maya said, but her hand had already moved protectively to her belly. It's completely my business if I'm going to marry you, Alexei said. Does your ex-husband know? No. Are you going to tell him? No, Maya said firmly. He made it clear he doesn't want children. Doesn't want me. He doesn't get to know about this baby. Good, Alexei said. Because if we do this, the child becomes part of the arrangement. I'll provide for both of you. Medical care. Education. Everything you need. In return, you be my wife for 3 years minimum. Present yourself appropriately at family and business functions. Play the role convincingly. And after 3 years? We divorce. You walk away with a settlement. $5 million. Enough to raise your child anywhere in the world. Enough to never worry about money again. $5 million. Maya's head spun. Why would you pay that much? Because my inheritance is worth $500 million, Alexei said. $5 million is nothing. A rounding error. But why me specifically? There have to be women in your world who would jump at this chance. Women in my world want love, Alexei said. They want romance. They want me to pretend this is something it's not. You're different. You've just had your heart broken. You understand that marriage can be a contract. A transaction. Nothing more. That's bleak. That's honest, Alexei corrected. Your ex-husband pretended to love you while he stole everything. I'm offering you transparency. No lies. No false promises. Just clear terms and mutual benefit. Maya's mind raced. This was insane. Marrying a stranger for money and revenge. It was something out of a movie, not real life. But what was her alternative? Go back to London with nothing? Face her mother's disappointment? Raise a child alone while working minimum wage jobs because her career gap made her unemployable? Or take this offer? This insane, impossible offer. You said you'd help me destroy Derek and Jenna, Maya said slowly. How? Alexei smiled. It was cold. Calculating. I have resources your ex-husband can't imagine. Investigators. Lawyers. Connections in every industry. Give me 24 hours and I'll have a complete dossier on his business activities. His partnership with Marcus. Every shady deal. Every corner they've cut. That's illegal. So is embezzlement, Alexei said. So is draining joint accounts without consent. So is transferring property fraudulently. Your ex-husband isn't clean, Maya. Men like him never are. They just haven't been caught yet. And you'll catch him? I'll destroy him, Alexei said simply. Systematically. Thoroughly. By the time I'm done, he'll lose his company, his reputation, his freedom. And your ex-friend? She'll lose everything she thought she gained. The promise hung in the air. Seductive. Terrifying. I need time to think, Maya said. You have until tomorrow morning, Alexei replied. He pulled out a business card. Set it on the table. I'll be at the courthouse on West Georgia Street at 10 a.m. If you show up, we get married. If you don't, you never see me again. He stood. Signaled to someone outside. My driver will take you to a hotel tonight, Alexei said. The Fairmont. I've already booked you a suite. Hot shower. Clean clothes will be delivered within the hour. Room service. Think about your answer. Why are you doing this? Maya asked. Really? There has to be more to it than just needing a wife. Alexei paused at the door. My grandmother wants me to marry someone appropriate. Someone Korean. Someone from an approved family. Someone who will maintain our image. He looked back at her. I want to prove that I make my own choices. That I can't be controlled. That I'll do what serves my interests, not what makes her comfortable. So I'm what? A rebellion? You're a statement. Alexei said. You're proof that I answer to no one. And in return, you get everything you need to rebuild your life and destroy the people who hurt you. He left before Maya could respond. A server appeared immediately. A woman in her 50s with kind eyes. Mr. Kang has arranged a car for you, miss. Whenever you're ready. Maya sat alone in the private room, business card in her hand, her mind spinning. This was crazy. Absolutely insane. But as she sat there, dripping rainwater onto expensive carpet, wearing a dress bought for a man who'd thrown her away, carrying a child she'd have to raise alone, she realized she didn't have better options. She had nothing to lose. And maybe, just maybe, everything to gain. Maya picked up the business card. Ran her thumb over the embossed lettering. Alexei Kang. CEO, Kang Industries. Her phone buzzed. She'd turned it back on without thinking. A text from Jenna. Hey, I know today was hard. But I really think this is for the best. You'll see that eventually. Take care of yourself. The casual cruelty of it. The audacity. Maya stared at the message. At this woman who destroyed her life and had the nerve to tell her it was for her own good. Another text came through. This one from Derek. Jenna said you're taking this badly. Don't be dramatic. Sign the papers and move on. I've already found a buyer for your car. The money will cover the legal fees you owe me for the lawyer's time. Legal fees. He wanted her to pay for the lawyer who'd helped him steal everything from her. Maya's hands shook. Not with sadness anymore. With rage. She looked at Alexei's business card again. Then at the texts. Then at the pregnancy test still hidden in her purse. The server appeared in the doorway. Miss? The car is ready whenever you are. Maya stood. Her feet still hurt, but the bandages helped. Thank you. The driver was waiting outside in a black Mercedes. He opened the door without speaking, and Maya slid into leather seats that probably cost more than her entire month's rent used to be. The Fairmont Hotel was only 10 minutes away, but it felt like entering a different world. The lobby was all marble and gold, crystal chandeliers and well-dressed guests. The kind of place Maya had only ever seen in movies. Ms. Okafor, the front desk clerk said before she even reached the counter. Your suite is ready. Mr. Kang has taken care of everything. Please don't hesitate to call if you need anything at all. The suite was on the 20th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. A bedroom bigger than the entire apartment she'd just been thrown out of. A bathroom with a tub that could fit 3 people. Maya stood in the middle of it all and felt completely out of place. A knock on the door made her jump. Delivery from Mr. Kang, a voice called. Maya opened the door to find a hotel employee with garment bags and shopping bags. Mr. Kang had these sent for you. Clothing. Toiletries. Everything you might need. The employee hung the garment bags in the closet and set the shopping bags on the bed. Is there anything else you require? No. Thank you. When she was alone again, Maya opened the garment bags. Designer clothes. Her size exactly. Dresses. Pants. Casual wear. All of it expensive. All of it perfect. The shopping bags contained everything else. Underwear. Pajamas. Toiletries. Even prenatal vitamins. He knew. Alexei knew about the pregnancy and he'd sent prenatal vitamins. Maya sat on the edge of the massive bed and finally let herself think clearly. Alexei Kang was offering her a way out. A way to survive. More than survive, a way to destroy the people who'd hurt her. But he was also clearly dangerous. The kind of man who could find out everything about her life in 30 minutes. The kind of man who owned restaurants and had drivers and booked hotel suites with a phone call. The kind of man rumored to have connections to the Korean Mafia. Was she really considering this? Her phone buzzed again. Another text from Derek. Stop ignoring me. The divorce papers need to be signed by Friday or I'm taking you to court for the furniture. My lawyer says we can claim you damaged it. Damaged it. The furniture they'd bought together. With her money. From her 2 jobs. Maya made a decision. She opened her laptop, the one thing she'd managed to grab from the apartment. Googled Alexei Kang. The results were immediate and overwhelming. Alexei Kang, 34, CEO of Kang Industries North American Division. Estimated net worth, unknown, but speculated to be in the hundreds of millions. Educated at Seoul National University and Harvard Business School. Known for aggressive business tactics and hostile takeovers. There were society photos. Alexei at galas. At business conferences. Always alone. Never with a date. Always in perfect suits with that same cold expression. And then she found the other articles. The rumors. Kang Industries investigated for alleged ties to organized crime. Questions remain about Kang family's connections to Seoul Underground. Alexei Kang, legitimate businessman or something darker? Maya should have been terrified. Should have deleted his number and run. But instead, she felt something else. Something like hope. Because men like Derek operated in the light. They manipulated and destroyed within the system, using lawyers and paperwork and legal theft. But men like Alexei? They operated in the shadows. And sometimes, you needed shadows to fight back. Maya looked at the time. 9 p.m. 13 hours until she had to make her choice. She took a shower. The hot water felt like absolution. Washing away the rain. The tears. The emerald green dress that had promised so much and delivered nothing. She wrapped herself in the hotel robe. Ordered room service even though she wasn't hungry. Forced herself to eat because the baby needed it. The baby. Her baby. Who would never know their father because their father was a monster. But maybe that was better. Maybe her child deserved to grow up without the man who could throw away 3 years of marriage for money and status. Maya's phone rang. Her mother. Again. This time, she answered. Maya, thank God, her mother's voice came through, thick with her Lagos accent. I've been calling all day. Why weren't you answering? Sorry, Mum. I was busy. Busy on your anniversary? Where is Derek? Let me speak to him. I want to wish you both. Derek and I are getting divorced, Maya said. The words came out flat. Empty. Silence on the other end. Then, what? He's been having an affair. With Jenna. For 18 months. He's taking everything. The apartment. The money. Everything. Jesus, her mother whispered. Maya, where are you right now? A hotel. I'm fine. You're not fine. Come home. Come back to Lagos. You can stay with me until. I can't, Maya interrupted. I have something I need to do here first. What thing? Maya, what are you talking about? Maya looked at Alexei's business card on the nightstand. I can't explain right now. But Mom? I need you to trust me. Trust you to do what? Something that might seem crazy. But I promise, I know what I'm doing. That was a lie. She had no idea what she was doing. But she couldn't tell her mother that. Maya Adiz Okafor, her mother said, using her full name like she had when Maya was a child. You tell me right now what you're planning. I might be getting married, Maya said. Another silence. Longer this time. To Derek? After everything. Not Derek. Someone else. Someone else? Maya, you just said you're getting divorced today. Who could you possibly? I'll explain everything soon, Maya said. I promise. But right now, I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Her mother's sigh was heavy. Weighted with worry. You're just like your father. Stubborn. Reckless. Making decisions without thinking them through. Dad always said his reckless decisions were his best ones, Maya reminded her. Your father also died in debt because of his reckless decisions, her mother countered. But her voice was softer now. At least tell me this man treats you better than Derek did. He's honest, Maya said. Which is more than I can say for Derek. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I have right now. They talked for a few more minutes. Her mother tried to convince her to come home. Maya deflected. Finally, they hung up with promises to talk soon. Maya sat in the massive hotel room, in a robe that probably cost more than her monthly salary used to be, and thought about choices. Derek had made his choice. Jenna had made hers. They'd chosen money and status and themselves. Now it was Maya's turn to choose. She could go home to Lagos. Raise her baby alone. Work whatever jobs she could find. Struggle. Survive. Let Derek and Jenna win. Or she could show up at the courthouse tomorrow morning. Marry a stranger. Enter a world she didn't understand. Take a risk that terrified her. But also, and this was the part that made her heart race, she could destroy them. Make them pay. Make them understand what they'd done. Maya picked up her phone. Looked at Jenna's text again. I really think this is for the best. Then Derek's. Don't be dramatic. They thought she was weak. Thought she'd just disappear. Thought she'd sign their papers and fade away into nothing. They had no idea what she was capable of. Because honestly, neither did Maya. But she was about to find out. She opened her contacts. Found Alexei's number from the business card. Her thumb hovered over it. One text. That's all it would take. One text to say yes or no. Maya thought about her baby. About the life they deserved. About being strong enough to fight back. She typed, I'll be there at 10. Sent it before she could change her mind. The response came immediately, good. We're something appropriate for a courthouse. My driver will collect you at 9:30. No emotion. No excitement. Just logistics. Maya set the phone down. Her hands were shaking. She'd just agreed to marry a man she'd met 3 hours ago. A man with ties to organized crime. A man who saw marriage as a business transaction. She should be terrified. Instead, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Power. Maya walked to the window. Looked out at Vancouver's lights. Somewhere out there, Derek and Jenna were probably celebrating. Probably laughing about how easy it had been to get rid of her. They had no idea what was coming. You want to play games? Maya whispered to her reflection. Let's play. She went to bed that night in silk pajamas that cost more than her wedding dress had. Set her alarm for 8 a.m. Tried to sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Derek's cold face. Jenna's pitying smile. The divorce papers with that bold black signature. At 6 a.m., she gave up trying. Ordered coffee. Decaf, because of the baby. The baby that was changing everything. She stood at the window watching Vancouver wake up. Watching people head to their normal jobs, their normal lives. 24 hours ago, she'd been one of them. Planning a normal anniversary dinner. Excited about normal news. Now she was about to marry a stranger for revenge. The clothes Alexei had sent hung in the closet like a test. Maya chose a simple navy dress. Elegant. Conservative. The kind of thing you'd wear to a courthouse wedding that meant nothing. Except it would mean everything. At 9:15, her phone buzzed. Driver is downstairs. Maya looked at herself in the mirror one last time. Her natural hair was still damp, curling around her face. No time to straighten it. No point, really. She wasn't trying to be beautiful for Alexei. This wasn't that kind of marriage. She grabbed her purse. The pregnancy test was still inside. A reminder of why she was doing this. The driver was the same man from last night. Silent. Professional. He held the car door open and didn't ask questions. The courthouse was downtown. Gray stone. Imposing. People streamed in and out, some in suits for business, some in casual clothes for mundane bureaucracy. And standing at the top of the steps, checking his watch, was Alexei Kang. He looked different in daylight. Still dangerous, but somehow more real. His black suit was perfectly tailored. His expression unreadable. Maya's legs felt weak climbing the steps toward him. "You came," he said when she reached him. "You sound surprised." "I gave it 50-50 odds." Alexei studied her face. "Did you sleep?" "No. Neither did I." He gestured toward the entrance. "Ready?" "No," Maya admitted. "But let's do it anyway." Inside, the courthouse was all fluorescent lights and tired clerks and people waiting on hard benches. Alexei walked directly to a specific window, where a woman immediately smiled at him. "Mr. Kang. Everything's prepared as you requested." Of course it was. Men like Alexei didn't wait in lines. They were ushered into a small room. A judge, older, gray-haired, bored, looked up from her paperwork. "Alexei Kang and Maya Okafor?" "Yes," Alexei said. The judge looked at Maya. "You understand this is a legally binding marriage? That you're entering into it of your own free will?" Maya thought about Derek. About Jenna. About the baby. About having nothing. "Yes," she said. Her voice was steady. "I understand. Any objections or concerns before we proceed?" 1,000 objections. 1,000 concerns. But Maya shook her head. "Then let's begin." The ceremony took 4 minutes. 4 minutes to legally bind herself to a stranger. The judge read the standard vows. Asked if they accepted. They both said yes. "You may exchange rings if you have them." Alexei pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside were 2 platinum bands. Simple. Expensive. He slid one onto Maya's finger. It fit perfectly. Of course it did. He'd probably had her ring size investigated too. Maya took the other ring with shaking hands. Slid it onto Alexei's finger. His skin was warm. Real. This was actually happening. "By the power vested in me by the province of British Columbia, I now pronounce you married. You may kiss if you wish." They didn't kiss. They just stood there, 2 strangers bound by law and necessity. "Congratulations," the judge said, though she sounded like she'd rather be anywhere else. "Sign here." They signed. The clerk witnessed. Just like that, Maya Okafor became Maya Kang. Outside the courthouse, the morning had turned bright. Sunny. Like the universe was mocking the darkness of what they'd just done. "My car is this way," Alexei said. "Wait." Maya grabbed his arm. "What happens now?" "Now we go to my apartment. You meet my assistant. We discuss the terms in detail. Tomorrow, you meet my grandmother." "Tomorrow?" Maya's stomach dropped. "That's too soon." "I can't." "You can," Alexei said firmly. "And you will. We have 3 months before my birthday. Every day counts." But I don't know anything about your world. Your culture. What am I supposed to say to your grandmother? The truth, Alexei said. That you're my wife. That you married me because I asked. That you understand this is a business arrangement and you're prepared to honor it. She'll hate me. Probably, Alexei agreed. She'll definitely disapprove. But that's the point. I'm not marrying for her approval. They reached a different car. Larger. More expensive. The driver opened the door and Maya slid inside. Alexei sat beside her. Before we go further, there are rules we need to establish. Rules? For the arrangement. He pulled out his phone. I've had my lawyer draw up a contract. It covers everything. Living arrangements. Public appearances. Financial arrangements. The settlement after 3 years. And the child. Maya's hand moved to her stomach. What about the child? The child will be legally mine, Alexei said. On paper. That protects you both. Gives the baby my name, my resources, my family's protection. When we divorce, you'll have full custody. I'll have no parental rights or responsibilities unless you explicitly grant them. You do that? Give up all rights to a child? It's not my child, Alexei said simply. It's yours. I'm just providing cover. Security. A better life than you could give alone. The bluntness should have hurt. Instead, it felt like relief. There's also the matter of your ex-husband, Alexei continued. He scrolled through his phone. My investigators worked all night. Your instincts were correct. Derek has been embezzling from his own company. Small amounts over 2 years. Roughly $200,000 total. Maya's breath caught. 200,000? He and Marcus have been skimming funds to start their consulting firm. They've hidden it well, but not well enough. Not from people who know where to look. That's illegal. Very illegal, Alexei agreed. Financial fraud. Embezzlement. When this goes public, Derek will lose everything. His company. His reputation. Possibly his freedom. When will you? Not yet, Alexei interrupted. Revenge is a dish best served cold. We let them think they've won. Let them get comfortable. Let them build their new life on stolen money and lies. And then, when they least expect it, we destroy everything. The cold calculation in his voice should have frightened Maya. Instead, she felt something warm in her chest. Hope. Purpose. Power. How long? She asked. 2 months, Alexei said. Maybe 3. Long enough for them to forget about you. Long enough for them to think they're safe. The car pulled up to a building in Cole Harbor. Glass. Steel. Expensive. This is home, Alexei said. Penthouse. 3 bedrooms. You'll have your own space. Your own room. We maintain separate lives except for public appearances. They rode the elevator to the top floor in silence. The penthouse was exactly what Maya expected. Minimalist. Modern. Cold. Floor-to-ceiling windows with views of the harbor. Your room is there, Alexei pointed. My room is opposite. The 3rd bedroom can be a nursery when you need it. A nursery. For a baby Derek would never know about. For a life that was still impossible to imagine. I have a meeting in an hour, Alexei said. My assistant will be here in 10 minutes to go over everything with you. Bank accounts. Credit cards. Schedule. Tomorrow we see my grandmother at 2 p.m. Dress appropriately. What's appropriately? Conservative. Elegant. Expensive. He paused. My assistant will help you shop this afternoon. Buy whatever you need. Money is not a concern. He started toward his room, then stopped. Turned back. Maya. Yes? You made the right choice, he said. Coming here. Marrying me. In 3 years, you'll walk away with everything you need. But more importantly, your ex-husband will lose everything he values. That's worth more than money. He disappeared into his room before Maya could respond. She stood alone in the massive penthouse, platinum ring heavy on her finger, baby growing in her belly, and wondered what she'd just done. Her phone buzzed. A text from Derek. Last chance to sign these papers without a fight. After today, I'm taking you to court. Maya looked at the message. Then at her new ring. Then at the expensive penthouse that was somehow now her home. She typed back, take me to court. I'm ready for a fight. Hit send before she could second guess it. Blocked his number. Then Jenna's. The old Maya was gone. Dead on the floor of that bedroom where she'd found them together. This Maya, Mrs. Alexei Kang, was someone new. Someone who had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. Someone dangerous. The doorbell rang. Alexei's assistant, probably. Ready to teach her how to be the wife of a man connected to the Korean Mafia. Maya took a breath. Touched her stomach where her baby was growing. We're going to be okay, she whispered. Better than okay. We're going to win. She opened the door. And her new life, her dangerous, impossible, terrifying new life, began. If you want to see Maya destroy Derek and Jenna, if you want to watch her navigate the dangerous world of the Kang family, if you need to know what happens when Alexei's grandmother discovers who he's really married, drop part 2 and comment where you are watching from in the comments right now. Hit that like button if Betrayal has ever made you want revenge. Subscribe because this story is just beginning, and trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Will Maya survive in Alexei's world? Will Derek discover the truth about the baby? Will this marriage of convenience become something more? Karis signing off.